think I'm gonna, just prompt you both with the question. Maybe I'll have Jennifer go first. And can you just tell us a little bit about who you are as a landowner, where you're coming from today, and how long have you been in the farm and ranch industry?
So we live in Southeast Kansas. We're right on the Oklahoma-Kansas border. And we've been farming. We're first generation farmers and have been farming for about 31, 32 years. And we just kind of saw this as an opportunity to be able to share the land that we have for hunting purposes, camping, bird watching. I know that like in the summer, we have a lot of family that comes and visits us, and they're so relaxed and they have such a wonderful time. And, it's just a wonderful vacation for them. And it kind of gives you another perspective of how other people see how you live every day. I think we take for granted a lot that happens around us on the farm, in agriculture, in a rural community, and that tight-knit, community and that feel and everything. And that's just something that I felt like was worth sharing.
Great, thank you. And Barb, to repeat the question, who are you as a landowner? Where are you tuning in from today? And how long have you been in the farm and ranch industry?
Well, Joe and I have, farm and ranch, predominantly ranch. We raise cattle and used to raise sheep. And we're from in the Gallatin Valley, near Bozeman, Montana. So we are in an amazingly beautiful spot. We own 1.5 miles of the Gallatin River. So our fishing opportunities are incredible. In fact, one of the LandTrust guys was out with a friend today fishing. And they absolutely love it out here because it's not even 30 minutes from Bozeman proper. And you can get out here and it's like being in a whole different world. Down along the river, we have 760 acres of property that we hunt and fish. And I'm just looking out the window and I see a big sandhill crane out here. I just saw some hummingbirds, and we have turkeys out in our pasture. So we have everything. And we decided, like Jennifer, that we wanted to, we've lost some river bottom to high water, and we've had problems running our sheep down there because of the high water. And we ended up having to sell our sheep that was one of the reasons. And we had, people's dogs coming out and running our sheep to death, and it was just too hard to manage sheep again. So we decided we had to make some income elsewhere. So LandTrust provided us with that opportunity. So that's where we are.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And I just want to say welcome, James. We have Jennifer and Barbara on the line today, and they are LandTrust landowners tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Next, I want to ask, Jennifer, we'll start with you again. What brought you to LandTrust, and why did you decide to list with LandTrust?
Well, actually, I had never heard of LandTrust at all until we attended our state Farm Bureau annual meeting, and it was one of the breakout sessions. And it just kind of caught my interest. And I thought, I'll go and see what this is all about, and listen to the presentation that they had. And I thought, my mom always told me that if it was too good to be true, it probably was. And I thought, I'm not so sure about this. And the breakout session ended, and I, found my husband and I said, we need to go in that other room and have a conversation with these guys at their booth, because this sounds too good to be true. And just, it sounded too easy. I wanted to see what was going on and how they could help. And so we scheduled a meeting. Tom came out, and the rest is kind of history. So.
That's great. Thank you. And Barb, what brought you to LandTrust, and why did you decide to list on LandTrust?
Actually, it was our neighbor who is a member of LandTrust, the Story Hereford Ranch. And Caitlin said, Barb, you really should look at this. So we did. She said, especially since you have all of that river bottom. So we did, and we had the guys come out and take a look and explain everything to us. And it was too good to be true. But it isn't. It's great. And we've had incredible success.
Jennifer, you got to tell about when you and I walked out behind the house to the pond, because we thought we might have seen some ducks landing in the pond.
Yes, that was right. That was part of Tom's visit too, is, to get you onboarded and started. Well, they need some pictures, to be able to put on there. And it was cold. It was windy when we went out. And I thought, boy, we're not going to get anything. And as Tom's putting on his shoes on the back porch, he's looking out the window and he says, is there a pond back there? And I said, yeah, there's a pond back there. And he said, well, I think I just saw some ducks go back there. Okay, whatever. And so we had headed down to one pond, and, we're looking around there. And of course, he wanted to go a little further, and it was cold, was it not? It was cold.
It was cold. We were walking right into a headwind, too.
Yeah, right into a headwind. And I thought, okay, we're going to get these pictures. I'm going to go back in, and we're going to get warm. And our farm dog was with us. And this particular pond, you can't see in the pond until you get up on the pond dam. And we were probably 30 foot from it, and our farm dog had gone up there and scared those duck up there, and boy, they just went to flying. I thought, oh my goodness, I did not realize that there were that many duck back here. And Tom had his camera out, and he was just shooting away, and I was just too flabbergasted to get any pictures off at that moment. Being able to see, it's one thing to say, oh, we have duck. It's another thing to actually see the picture and have that picture that was there. So Tom knew what he was looking for, and what he was doing there. And we got a good picture of the duck on the pond that day.
That was really cool. That was a great experience. I mean, just seeing when you come up, we came up over that edge, and as soon as we got up over the edge, those ducks were coming. And there had to be 30 or 40 ducks on this small pond, and and they're all mallards, and it was just beautiful. We got a great couple of pictures, and of course we sent them on to Josh, and Josh got them loaded onto your listing, and it's not only a cool picture on our listing, but it's a cool memory that we had there. That was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty special, and I'm sure, Jennifer, maybe Tom's enthusiasm as a sportsman himself for the duck, I wonder if that also just showed a little bit of, the future enthusiasm for other sportsmen to come.
Yes. And I think we've had 3 listings, and you go, well, that's not very many, but where I'm at, the location of where I'm at, and what we have to offer this time of year, that's not too bad. And that, kind of revolved around turkeys, actually. And turkeys are a little difficult in Kansas right now, and you're lucky if you even see any. And so I was disappointed for the ones that had come out and didn't get a turkey, but my son also reminded me, I don't get a turkey every time I go out, Mom. But the opportunity was there. They could hear them, they could see them, they just didn't want to come out and play. But I think every single one of them, when they left, said, we had such an amazing time. One fella that came with his cousin and his cousin's son. The cousin was in his 50s and just had a massive heart attack. and, was lucky to be alive and wanted to spend time with his kid. And they fished while the cousin, went turkey hunting. And I just actually uploaded a picture to our site of the guys with, okay, fishermen, right? Bass. This you'll have to go on our site to be able to see that. But all three of them had caught a bass that day, and they were so thrilled and so happy, and they want to come back. And it just, that more than anything made me feel good to make me know that I was doing the right thing.
That's awesome.
And with all three of those, actually, and this may come up later, but the concern for the landowner, I never saw any of them, never talked to any of them. They came, they did their thing, they had fun. Honestly, they don't want to be bothered as no more than you want to be bothered. You have your instructions laid out there. We communicated beforehand, and that was really it. And their experience was what they paid for and what they were expecting too. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
really
A little
great.
bonus on the bass fishing. That's crazy. That's
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, that was good. It's a good pond for that.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Barb, I want to ask you, back when you were first onboarding with LandTrust, was there anything that held you back in the very beginning from working with LandTrust? Anything that was a major concern to you? And then how did you overcome that?
I guess mine was time, the time issue, because I work full-time as an accounts payable representative for a large company. And then my second job is ranch hands. So I just wondered how I was going to fit all of this scheduling into my day. And, it has been actually easier than I thought it was going to be, because I can literally answer a text quite quickly, and it doesn't take any time at all. So it works well.
That's great. And Jennifer, you kind of alluded to the idea of, this has to be too good to be true. What types of concerns maybe held you back initially, or what was a hesitation? And then how did you overcome that?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones was my husband. He's more of a private, type of person. And he thought, well, these people are going to come. I'm going to have to entertain them all day long. No, Tom assured us that's not the case. And like I stated before, they don't want to mess with you any more than you want to mess with them. They just want to come out. They want to hunt. They want to fish. They want to relax. And, you're there if they need anything extra, in the day that might pop up. But that has, really not been an issue or the case. It is very simple when you get a request just to basically answer a text. They've got a question. Hey, I'd like to come on these particular dates. Here are the people that are coming with me. If you want to, you can offer them a deal. I know that one of them had come with, the 18-year-old son that was, there, or no, it was a different one. And the wife was just going to be taking pictures. Well, I'm not going to charge, you have two people coming, but one of them's only hunting, and so you can make those kind of exceptions to the rule if you want to. Kids, I just want them to have a good time and to be able to learn and have a safe environment to be able to do that. So there's a lot of give and take on your part, or their part. It's not just set in stone. It's not that you have to, when you offer a turkey package, you have to do it this way. No, it's however you want to. If you only want two people or one person hunting or whatever it is, it's your rules, your land, your rules. And so that's another thing that I really liked about that. And, my husband has seen how easy this has been. And I do take care of all the details, but he just shrugs his shoulders and said, okay, that's fine. He's, it has worked out so far with everybody that that has come. And I also have to say this too, because I think it's important that the quality of people that you have coming to your place
Mhm,
is above par.
mhm.
You're someone that is
It's important.
coming to hunt on your land is a diehard hunter that wants the
Yep.
experience, that knows what they're doing, that is not going to leave trash around. They're going to leave the land how you would want it versus, you know, the neighbor kid that brings a bunch of friends over could be a little different. And so what we have experienced so far is just extremely high-end hunters that are coming and are very respectful of you and your land.
We have found that also. And as far you were talking about customizing this for the hunters or whatever, we just had a person call and schedule to come hunt morel mushrooms with his wife. And, you know, they came and I did the same thing. The wife, they have an 18-month-old child. And I just said, you know what, just one fee and you come and do it. So yeah, it's up to you to customize however you want. So I agree with that.
That's really great. That's a cool story, Barbara. Can you also tell us, Barb, were there any conversations that you had to, discuss with your spouse or partner or family members about the control or the flexibility before, publishing your LandTrust listing?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, Jennifer's story is my story. As far as our husbands go, he didn't want anything to do with it, and he doesn't want to have to talk to anybody. And, it works out. He just wants to know what vehicle they're driving, tells them where to park, and, the rest is up to them. And he has given them, boundaries and the lay of the land, and he's all in. He's all in. He just wants me to let him know when there's people on the property. So easy peasy.
Yeah.
The funny story I'm going to tell you, after I left Brent and Jennifer's home, I went into town and had lunch. And when I was leaving town, a little town called Bartlett in the southeast corner, I see a farmer in a big old truck broken down on the side of the road, and there's pieces of tires. So he clearly had a big old blowout on the side of the road. And the truck's pulled off on the side of the road, and I pull over to see if he needs a hand, and I walk up to the front door, and it's Brent, Jennifer's husband, he was hauling grain, right, Jennifer?
Yes, he was hauling grain, and the tire just blew and
Oh no.
messed up the truck, and it just, yeah, it's a normal farming day, right?
Yep.
And I looked up from the passenger window as I got off the road and walked back, and I look up and it's Brent sitting in the truck, and he's on the phone, and he's already got somebody from town or from a tow truck or tow company coming out to help. But I was like, yeah, I saw you. It looked like you might need a hand here. I saw the fragments of the tire, and he looked at me like, I can't believe it's you. That was pretty cool.
That is pretty funny. It ends up being such a small world.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what kind of work did you need to do to prepare to list for LandTrust?
So Tom really did quite a bit, in that onboarding when he came out to the house and asked us a lot of questions, like what types of guns would you allow? How many people would you allow? So the onboarding, once he got the information to, I think it was Josh, who then uploaded everything to there. Now, I will say that I do have website experience. And so adding those other personal touches to our listing was very easy for me. And I didn't need the extra help, but I was offered the extra help. You know, if you need, you know, if you want to send us pictures, we'll upload them for you, you know, all of those kind of things. If you need help with the listing, then we can do that for you. It wasn't something that I personally needed. And someone else may say, well, I don't have those skills. I can't do this. Oh, it's a 10-minute conversation. You know, I want a 1-day turkey hunt. I'm going to charge $125 per person, and you lay it out for them and they've put it on there for you. I mean, extremely easy. I've been able to go in and customize. I'm also a landscape photographer. And so I think that's something else that does sell our listing are the photos that are on there.
Yeah, no question.
That would be, you know, fairly easy too if you just go, ugh, I don't have any pictures, you know, in my place. I think you could probably find a high school FFA kid, you know, to maybe throw them $20 or something and come out and take pictures of your cows or your operation or something like that. You know, or someone like Tom that, you know, would come out and just spend the day. They would take the pictures for you. I'm quite certain. But I do have extra pictures that, you know, I had that were on my computer that I was able to, I think, add to that just a little bit too. So really not, I mean, you asked how much did I have to prepare? Not really much. That goes back to that it's too good to be true kind of thing, because it was just so easy. The onboarding process got 75% of the information that needed to be on the website. And then I just filled in the blanks and added some packages.
Mhm.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And Barb, what about you? What did you need to do to prepare for your listing with LandTrust?
Pretty much the same thing. We went out with Colton and went around in our vehicles and showed him the ranch. He took tons of pictures. We ended up getting a couple of game cameras, so that's providing photos also. That there's a great picture on our website of a turkey with his eyeball right next to the lens of the camera. Big old turkey head. Anyhow, you know, we got a bunch of great pictures, and as far as doing anything else, not a whole lot. You know, just going in and filling out the information. I did pretty much the copy myself because I write, so it was pretty darned easy, but the offer of help was there whenever I need it. And also, you know, when there's any type of technical difficulties, I can give them a quick call or a quick text, and they're pretty much on it right away.
That's good to hear.
All right, you
think-
guys, I just gave you a kudo.
You keep an eye on that Colton for me up there, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer, what has LandTrust helped you solve as a landowner?
Say that again. You broke up just a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
What problems has LandTrust helped you solve as a landowner?
Oh gosh. You know, I don't know that I'm seeing it quite yet, but an income gap. Like I said, we've just really started. We had 3 people come in for turkey hunting. But I think it's going to make us a better manager of the land that we're not quote unquote farming. And that's by choice. I think there's some things that we can do to that area. Tom, you know, I'm talking about where the turkeys are back there. Just some cleaning up. It's a new piece of land that we do have to make it better for the turkeys there. We've got a coyote issue out there. And so, you know, being able to offer those coyote hunts, one of the guys that shot turkey came out to shoot turkey, wants to come back to shoot coyote with some of his buddies. And so I think it's made us realize that, you know, we may farm, but what surrounds that field is just as important too. So it's made us a little more thoughtful anyway of those kind of things, I think.
Great. And Barb, what problems has LandTrust helped you solve as a landowner?
Well, for one thing, it was also an income gap. And through our bookings for just last year alone, we were able to pay our property taxes.
Wow.
So that was one of the things that we wanted to do was, find an extra income to help defray some of those costs that we couldn't run sheep anymore. So the sheep paid for the taxes. Well, now our land trust income has paid for our taxes.
That's
So yeah, it's great. It's great. And I'm totally happy with it.
That's great. We're excited. It's been so successful so far.
Mhm.
We're excited to build on it too. So I want to take a moment to kind of pause there. I also want to, again, welcome James. And to my understanding, James, you are now a land trust landowner as of today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Signed up. Heard Josh and everything. I believe it was Josh speaking on a podcast. And I was super stoked. This was something that the business side of me, like I went to business school, but my heart's in like regenerative farming and helping family. And so this is where like my soul's happy. So I dropped the corporate world and came back home and I was like, man, like, doesn't that just sound like something that people should be using to their advantage and just
Mhm.
bringing people that don't have this incredible opportunity like at their front door, just make them a part of this world and show them that there are still people out here living with the land instead of just on it. And so whenever I heard that, I was just like, man, rock and roll, let's do this. And so I was super stoked at how easy and fluid the whole process was. And I'm sorry, like I'm a single dad, so I'm out here working right now. I have 2 girls with me. I'm trying to like get everything done. Like the cows were bumping me. I was trying to like keep the camera steady. That's just like my life. That's how we roll. And so as crazy as it is, it's awesome. And everyone's like, we host pasture walks for Airbnb tours and stuff. Like we have a lot of neighbors that have Airbnbs, and so their customers always want to take pasture walks with us, especially whenever they hear that I have a background in sustainability and just being a nerd. I'm a real nerd for soil biology and trying to grow the best possible cattle that I can to put healthy food on my daughter's plate and our community's plate. And so it just kind of worked out, and I'm really loving it. I hope that I can position ourselves to take advantage of this and to make ourselves look semi-attractive to people because I mean, I'm sorry, it's kind of dark out here, but it's freaking awesome. You know, I'm a simple man, I guess. Like I'll take this any day over Scottsdale, Arizona, where I lived for a long time.
Oh my God. It's great to have you as part of the Land Trust family, James. I love what you're saying there. And I love the fact that you're out there working and you got your girls with you. That's awesome.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. One of them's mine, the one that I'm claiming taxes on. The other, she's just a neighbor. So I'm not that impressive. I'm not that awesome. If I could handle 2 at the same time, I'd probably have less wrinkles at my age. But it's like a true blessing. I wouldn't trade this for the world, and I really appreciate y'all and appreciate this call.
You
That's
bet.
awesome.
Well, thanks for
I
being
think
on it.
just to kind of touch on that as well. I know Josh probably already sent you a email and maybe a text and a call, James. But James is a really good example of kind of what we tend to call, an out of market listing, just where we don't have boots on the ground. So we're headquartered in Montana. That's where me and Josh are located. Tom's in Kansas, and we have some employees, across the country as well. But of course, we can't be everywhere right now. So it was cool to see James kind of come in organically from the podcast, and then he was able to build that listing, I think, in, under a day or so. And when we got into the office this morning, we were all checking it out and just how awesome it looked. The pictures are super good. It's like, I kind of wish I could get down to Texas and go check it out, of course. But that's like the goal, we want to try and make it as simple as possible for, hopefully, across the country, people can kind of build these listings that look, attractive and kind of bring that attractiveness to people that don't get to see that life every day. So nice work, James.
Truly, so much. I really appreciate the kind words, and thank you guys, because like your end of the bargain, I mean, we have yet to even like tip of the iceberg type of deal, but you guys are and like I really appreciate the vision that's going on here, and thank you guys for making it easy, because I just adopted a 3-legged herd dog, and I think it's pretty I think it's way easier to adopt a human being than it is a dog at this point. So thanks for at least making your program simple to judge. You know?
James,
Yep,
have you heard Chris Knight's song, Nothing on Me?
Yes, sir. I believe I have.
You gotta, that's a great song about his three-legged dog that he calls Jake.
Yes, sir. I have.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. I love me a good three-legged dog, except this one's supposed to help me with the cows. And this one, I mean, I about get kicked by the cows every day because of her, but she's warming up to it. You know, we'll get her there.
That's awesome. Well, James, I just wanted to open up the call in case you had any specific questions about LandTrust or that you want to direct to either of our other landowners who have experienced welcoming recreators onto their land, or to anyone from our customer success team. We're here, and this is almost, I mean, I feel like this is perfect timing. You already published your listing, but if you have hesitations or questions or concerns, what
No,
can we answer for you?
that's absolutely incredible. I really appreciate that opportunity. And I was curious, like, as of now, like, we're trying to grow our acreage. Recently had a 400 acres fall through my fingertips that I was just like, oh man, it killed me because we're in the cattle business. So I'm trying to grow our numbers that side. However, I've always been in the hospitality industry just from younger age, living in Arizona with tourism and being up around Lake Powell, like southern Utah, northern Arizona. So it's really cool. I love showing people a good time, especially that are from out of state, out of country, whatever it may be. So I was going to ask, like, is there any recommendations you guys, anyone that you have for me that I should try to incorporate in order to make our listing more attractive? Any suggestions as far as like pricing myself out? I'm not here for the money. I'm just like, I know it sounds crazy. We are all here. Like, money's a nice thing. However, like, I just want it to be welcoming while being able to be beneficial. Like, any suggestions, I'm all ears, and I'm not closed-minded at all. I'm just ready to grow and expand.
Yeah, I think I can touch on a little bit, and then, maybe Barb and Jennifer can jump in as well. Cause I feel like, at our current stage in the company right now, one thing that I've noticed since working here and just kind of be around it is our company itself and our landowner partners, we're kind of ever learning on these different things, what'll bring in sportsmen's, recreators, whatever it may be to the property, what's that good price point, so what I always tend to see and kind of recommend, and I think everybody maybe would agree a little bit, is to just find a good starting point that you think is solid, and then you'll kind of start getting inquiries, which is when people kind of send you a message asking questions. Barb and Jennifer are probably well aware of this, and I think that kind of is what will help you find that really good price point and maybe what you want to offer and like the certain days that are really good for certain activities, kind of things like that. So I'd really say it's just a learning curve as you continue to go with the platform for now, anyhow.
Okay, awesome. Because I was going to offer free massages, but I figured that'd be creepy.
Yeah, that's a little far, James.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. I just didn't want to overdo it. My first time around.
Jennifer, you might talk to
Oh,
Brent
funny.
about that. Free massages by Brent. Massages
right?
by Brent.
Exactly. We're missing a market here.
A niche within a
James,
niche.
they have goat yoga.
There you go.
Well, awesome. Thank you. I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate this all. And I'm going to be here listening. I've just got to jump in the Can-Am and fly up to the house to grab my phone charger because I'm not trying to dump y'all on the first date here.
Okay.
Thank you so much, truly.
Yeah.
you.
And James, if you have further questions, feel free to type them into the chat box of this call, and then I'll see them pop up, and we can ask our team here then to answer them. So
Most definitely.
whatever comes to mind, feel free.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So jumping back to some of the other questions I have for Jennifer and Barb, what surprised you about working with LandTrust?
The ease. That was my surprise.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
That's great. And what have you learned about being successful at offering your ranch or farm recreation?
For me, it's just wanting to make the land more attractive, make it better, sustainable. And, you know, we've here in Montana have been in a terrible drought for a couple of years, and the majority of the state of Montana ranchers have had to liquidate their cattle. It's been a really, really hard go for them. And we were part of that group. We sold half of our herd of cattle. And, you know, I don't know, my husband's now in his 70s, and I don't know that we'll probably build back up again. But, you know, being able to have the property and offer that as an extra income is significant. So.
Thanks, Barb. And Jennifer, what have you learned about being successful at offering your farm or ranch for recreation?
I think it takes that kind of the thinking outside of the box again. Of, you know, what do I have? Well, I have lots of stars. There's not many lights out here, you know, and maybe taking a little bit of time and marketing that to my nearest cities, you know, that are right here, or partnering with a group or a 4-H club or something like that, maybe local. And I know the idea is to, you know, bring people from faraway places to, you know, your land as well, but just being able to think maybe a little outside of the box. You know, yes, it is very easy. Yes, it is selling itself, but how could I take that a step further and, you know, put some ownership in that for me? And that would be, you know, kind of marketing that. And I think that's kind of what James was saying too. Like, how do I get the people? How do I bring them in? And, you know, I want my site for people to be able to see that others, guests that have been here, have had fun. And so I just posted today that picture of the 3 guys and their 3 bass, you know, that they all had, and they've got the smiles on their face. And I was able to tag that, you know, with, you know, our guests with their catch of the day kind of thing. And so, you know, that's just one way that I was able just to take it up a little bit of a notch. You know, and James, maybe it is for you getting with your Airbnb people and offering a 5% discount, you know, or something along those lines, or having a brochure that you would make that you could leave at the Airbnb, you know. So I think LandTrust have done their part, absolutely have done their part. But I think as a landowner too, that I can take that up, you know, a notch and be more successful with that too.
Thanks, Jennifer. I totally agree right there. And I am doing my part and hustling my rear end off in the Airbnbs. I've got my name, farm address, and everything written on all their chalkboards, chicken eggs and everything supplied for their breakfast when they get here. And so it's awesome to have help on the other end from the other person, like LandTrust.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be successful. I know that you will.
I really appreciate it. I'm really stoked. I can't wait. I'm ready for the first person yesterday.
Well, I just wanted, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Elena. I just recently had a turkey hunter out from Tennessee.
Wow.
Totally surprised me. But he was looking for a specific type of turkey. And my husband and I have had to bone up on turkey hunting and types of turkeys. So we've just recently acquired 30 turkeys, wild turkeys that have been populating around here. I have no idea where they came from, but they are all over the place. So I guess we will see what happens there. And we
have a lot of buzzards. Does that work?
Yeah. I had 6 buzzards last spring.
Right on, better than 7.
No, 6, 9.
So what kind of turkeys do you have, Barb?
I think they call them the Miriam.
Okay, yeah. That's been a challenge here in Colorado, and Josh can testify to this. We get a lot of questions, but we have Rios, we have Miriams, and we have Easterns all in the state of Kansas. And then we also have hybrids.
Wow.
That could be a Rio Miriam, a Rio Eastern, a Miriam Eastern, a Miriam Rio mix. So it's really hard when we have sportsmen that want to hunt a specific breed of turkey or a specific subspecies of turkey, because we don't know necessarily what they're going to see on any given property. They could see all three.
Wow.
Or even a hybrid. So yeah, it's kind of like, hey, have your pick. Good luck. Why they call it.
Well, apparently this gentleman saw our pictures on our site, and he has a friend who lives in Livingston, Montana, which is just over the hill from us. And he wanted to come out and get a Miriam. So out from Tennessee, he came.
That's awesome.
He did not get a turkey.
Turkeys are
I felt really bad, but he did not get a turkey. He saw him.
Josh, you can testify to that, right, buddy?
I sure can. Lots of different species to keep track of. So.
And they can be a little evasive. This was Josh's first year hunting turkeys.
That's right. That's right.
The harvest one, but he made a gallant effort out there in the field this year.
Yeah, we sure tried. Yeah.
We are just ending spring turkey season here in Montana.
Yeah.
Lewis, I'm coming to your place. I've never hunted turkey. You sound awesome.
Hey, mule deer, we've got them. I have hundreds of mule deer. Too many.
Awesome.
Well, this has been such a great call. I do want to wrap things up. And my last question for both Jennifer and Barb is, maybe Jennifer, you can hit this one first, but what would you tell other ranchers or farmers considering working with LandTrust?
What would I tell them? Not to sound like a broken record, but the ease of it is so easy. I mean, if there's any hesitation whatsoever, have them come out, have them do the onboarding, see how easy it is, because I think that you just don't understand the potential that your land has. And, when Tom came out, he gave us quite a few things to think about and, what others have done with their land. And I think that that's important that, we do take a look at what all can be offered. Like I say, the ease of it is very, very worth our time and worth our while. And we're glad that we were able to bring this to people and have LandTrust to do that with.
That's great. And Barb, what would you tell other ranchers or farmers considering LandTrust?
Well, like with any venture, you do your due diligence, you listen, you ask questions, and just move forward at your pace. We ended up getting a lot of assistance with signage because of, all of the property we have around here. And people tend to respect that signage. So we don't have a whole lot of knocking on the door every half hour of people wanting to go hunting. We just give them the website and off they go. And it's their choice whether they want to go online or not.
That's good.
That's great. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments that they want to bring up? Anything at all? We really appreciate everyone taking the time this evening. And this will definitely provide some great content for us to work with future landowners as well and answer their questions before publishing. So
I would like to just say thanks to Barbara and Jennifer and James for trusting in what LandTrust has to offer, and believing in taking a bit of a gamble and believing in something that we're all behind and we think is just an unbelievable opportunity for landowners, producers, farmers, ranchers across the country to get on board with something that's going to help them tremendously. And really, I think it helps everybody in the community when you have this type of success introduced to farmers and ranchers in your community. So thank you so much for taking a chance and believing in us. It's great to have you.
Thank you all very much. And
Thank you.
We cannot tell you how much we appreciate this. And I appreciate you all just letting me in on this call with this train wreck of a circus that we are.
Happy to have you, James. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Look forward to chatting much more.